Section 3. Identity Grid. The identity grid is the framework that holds who you are at every level. It maps the signals you send, the standards you live by, and the image you project to yourself and the world. It is not about labels or surface traits. It is about the structural forces that define how you think, act, and respond under any condition. This section will break down the components of the identity grid and show you how to align them so your inner world and outer world operate as one system. You will see how your values, self-talk, posture, habits, and choices form an interconnected field that either strengthens or weakens your presence. Here's what we will cover: how identity is built and reinforced, how to detect and remove distortions in your self-image, the link between your internal standards and your external results, how to lock your chosen identity into your nervous system so it holds under pressure, the role of energetic consistency in making your identity unshakable, and how to align the identity grid with universal principles so your personal field mirrors the stability of the cosmos. Energy patterns by personal type. Everyone has a story, and no two stories are alike. Your story shapes how your energy moves through you. It decides what you protect, what you push toward, and what you avoid. Energy patterns by personal type are the ways you store energy, based on your lived experiences, natural tendencies, and trained behaviors. They show up in how you approach challenges, recover from setbacks, and sustain focus. These patterns are deeper than personality traits. They are the energetic fingerprints that tell the truth about how you operate. You never know the full story behind someone's energy pattern, but you can learn to read the results. If you do not understand your own, you risk working against it. You may push when you should recover, or pull back when you should act. You may drain yourself by forcing a rhythm that isn't yours. Knowing your pattern lets you design strategies to work with your natural flow instead of against it. This prevents burnout, builds consistency, and makes sustained performance possible. It also sharpens how you work with others, because you can recognize their patterns and adjust your approach to match or balance them. In the universe, every object moves according to its own story. Planets spin and orbit in ways shaped by their mass, composition, and history. Stars pulse, flare, and fade based on the forces that created them. Galaxies hold their form because of the paths they've been on for billions of years. Your energy pattern is your personal orbit. When you understand it, you can navigate your life like a skilled pilot charting a course by the stars. When you ignore it, you fight against the natural laws of your own system. Keep this in mind when working with your pattern. You're a natural sprinter, not a marathoner. Once you accept this, you stop forcing 12-hour grind sessions. You schedule short, high-intensity work bursts with full recovery between them. Your output doubles without burning out. You naturally build momentum slowly. Instead of comparing yourself to fast starters, you focus on long-game projects where your consistency compounds. You stop feeling behind and start feeling in control. You see that certain people drain your signal faster than others. You restructure your schedule to meet them after high-energy activities. Never before. Your mood and focus stop collapsing midday. Translation: when you know your energy type, you stop leaking power in the wrong rhythms. You adjust your strategy to your orbit, and the field stops fighting you. Personality zones and expression modes. We all operate within certain zones where their personality feels natural, and they also switch between different modes for expressing it. Personality zones are the core states where you feel most yourself, shaped by your history, values, and comfort levels. Expression modes are the ways you present that personality to the world, depending on the environment, audience, or situation. These can range from your default everyday mode to more intentional, strategic modes you use in high-pressure or high-impact situations. If you don't know your own zones and modes, you risk mismatching them. You might express yourself in a way that clashes with the situation or worse, betrays your true intentions. Many people move through life unconsciously shifting modes without realizing how it affects others' perception of them. When you map your zones and modes, you gain the ability to choose how you show up. You know when to lean into authenticity, when to amplify certain traits, and when to hold parts of yourself back for the right time. This is control over your personal signal. It makes your communication more intentional and your presence more consistent. In the universe, different zones and modes exist in every system. Planets have zones, regions with distinct climates, terrains, and energy conditions, and modes, such as rotation and orbit patterns, that change how they interact with surrounding bodies. Stars shift modes over their lifespans, moving from one type of energy output to another. Your inner universe works the same way. Your personality zones are like stable orbital paths, defining where you function best. Your expression modes are the rotational shifts and flares that determine how others experience your energy. When you understand and align these, you operate like a finely tuned celestial body, stable in structure, but capable of dynamic expression when conditions call for it. Mind-body links and health signatures. We all live inside a system where the mind and body are not separate parts. They are a single network constantly exchanging information. Mind-body links are the direct pathways where thoughts, emotions, and mental states influence physical function, and where physical conditions influence mental performance. Health signatures are the patterns that show up in your body as a result of habits, stress levels, emotional states, and lifestyle choices. Together, your mind-body link and your health signatures form a real-time map of how you've been living. Consider if you want to know exactly how your habits are shaping you. It shows in your health signatures. Chronic stress leaves its marks. Consistent movement sharpens coordination and resilience. Certain people ignore these signs until the system breaks down, but the link is always active whether you notice it or not. When you understand this connection, you can use mental training to influence your physical health. And you can use physical practices to sharpen mental clarity and stability. This creates a feedback loop where improving one automatically strengthens the other. When a planet's magnetic field weakens, it becomes vulnerable to external forces, mirroring how a weakened mental state can erode physical health. Your inner universe works the same way. The mind is the command center, sending signals that shape the body's responses. The body is the vessel, sending constant feedback to the mind. When the connection is clear and balanced, your health signatures show stability and strength. When it's disrupted, both systems drift out of alignment, reducing your ability to perform and recover. Aligning mind and body is the human version of keeping an orbit stable. The entire system stays functional and resilient. When you treat your health signatures as a live diagnostic, you stop guessing and start adjusting. Mind and body stay in sync. Energy output stabilizes. Performance stops dipping without warning. Signal strengths, weaknesses, and fluctuations. We are broadcasting a signal at all times. That signal is the combination of our posture, tone, presence, mental state, and underlying energy. Signal strengths are the traits and conditions that make our transmission clear, steady, and magnetic. Signal weaknesses are the traits, habits, or states that distort or weaken our field. Fluctuations are the changes in our signal over time, often tied to stress, fatigue, emotional shifts, or environmental influences. Our signal is never static. It either stabilizes or destabilizes based on how we manage ourselves. From experience, a strong and steady signal builds trust, influence, and respect without you needing to explain yourself. People pick up on it instantly, even if they can't define it. A weak or inconsistent signal sends mixed messages, making you seem unreliable or unsure. Many people focus on what they say or do, but overlook the condition of the signal carrying it. If you understand your strengths, you can amplify them. If you identify your weaknesses, you can correct them. If you track your fluctuations, you can stabilize your field so that your presence stays effective, no matter what is happening around you. When you know what boosts, drains, and shifts your signal, you stop leaving your presence to chance. You show up strong, steady, and clear, even when conditions around you change. Internal conflicts, resolution paths. Some people live with constant tension between what they want and what they do. Internal conflicts are the push-pull battles between beliefs, values, needs, and desires that do not align. They can be loud and obvious or quiet and constant. Resolution paths are the deliberate methods for ending those battles. They involve identifying the real point of friction, deciding which principle takes priority, and aligning action so the conflict no longer drains energy. If you carry unresolved internal conflicts, you burn energy without making progress. The mind loops, the body tenses, and decisions stall. Over time, this erodes confidence and creates hesitation in areas that should feel automatic. Most people don't realize how much mental fatigue comes from these hidden wars. When you know your resolution paths, you can move from confusion to clarity quickly. That speed restores momentum and strengthens self-trust. Every resolved conflict frees up energy for execution instead of constant internal debate. In the universe, opposing forces are not avoided, they are balanced. Gravity pulls inward while cosmic expansion pushes outward, creating stability in planetary systems. Magnetic fields repel and attract at the same time, maintaining structure. Your inner universe functions the same way. Internal conflicts are your opposing forces. Resolution paths are the adjustments that bring those forces into balance so your trajectory remains steady. When you resolve conflicts, you stop wobbling in your orbit and move with the same precision as a stable celestial body that is fully aligned with the forces around it. Realignment drills for each type. Consider if you know your natural patterns, strengths, and weak points. You can then create precise drills to bring yourself back into alignment when you drift. Realignment drills are targeted actions designed to reset your mental, physical, and energetic state based on your personal type. They are not generic routines. They are specific, repeatable moves that match how you operate, so they work fast and hold under pressure. Most people try to reset themselves using random strategies they've heard from others, but what works for one person might do nothing for another. When you know your type, you can choose drills that directly address your imbalances. This reduces wasted time and keeps your recovery consistent. Over time, these drills train your system to snap back faster after stress, distraction, or energy drops. In the universe, systems correct their course through small, precise adjustments. A satellite changes trajectory with a controlled burst. A planet stabilizes rotation through the balance of gravitational forces. Your inner universe operates on the same principle. Realignment drills are your controlled bursts, deliberate actions that bring you back into your natural orbit. Reframe phrases and activation prompts. You might find that a single sentence, said in the right way, can shift your entire state. Reframe phrases are short, direct lines that replace disempowering thoughts with perspectives that restore clarity and control. Activation prompts are cues you use to trigger action, focus, or confidence on command. Both are tools for interrupting unproductive mental loops and replacing them with intentional, high-value thoughts that push you toward execution. Most people let their first thought dictate their state, even if that thought is weak or distorted. Reframe phrases stop that pattern before it spreads. Activation prompts do more than shift mindset. They also create a physical and emotional state change, so the shift holds. Over time, these tools become mental reflexes. You train yourself to move from hesitation to action, from doubt to certainty, in seconds. The faster you can make that change, the less time you waste in low-output states. In the universe, small changes in trajectory can completely alter a destination. Activation prompts are the ignition sequences that fire your system back into motion. When used consistently, they keep your mental and energetic orbits stable, ensuring you stay on track with your intended direction instead of being pulled off course by internal or external interference. The truth is, one sentence, delivered with intent, is enough to pull your mind, body, and field into alignment. The right phrase turns drift into immediate action. Here are a few drills to help you reframe for immediate action. 1. For procrastination, the 2-minute takeoff. You're avoiding a task because it feels large and complex. First thought: I need to find a big block of time to tackle this. The reframe: launch for 2 minutes. Momentum builds. The substance: you aren't committing to the whole task, just to starting the engine. Action, not deliberation, creates clarity. You open the document and write one bullet point. You make the call and just say hello. The initial friction is gone, and continuing is easier than stopping. 2. For overwhelm, the anchor action. Situation: multiple demands are pulling you in every direction. You feel scattered and ineffective. First thought: where do I even start? The reframe: anchor the day, one completed thing. The substance: instead of trying to prioritize everything, you choose a single, manageable task that will provide a sense of accomplishment and control. You complete it without interruption. This anchor action creates a psychological win, calming the chaos and providing the focus to tackle the next item. 3. For the inner critic, the neutral observer. Situation: you make a mistake, and self-criticism instantly floods in. First thought: I always mess this up. I'm not good enough. The reframe: note the fact. Fix the error. The substance: you consciously separate the emotional narrative from the factual event. Instead of "I'm an idiot," you state the fact. The report had an error on page 3. This neutral framing allows you to shift energy from self-judgment to problem-solving, directing your effort toward a solution rather than dwelling on the blame. Thanks for watching.